the world is changing very fast, and learning and training and coaching is very different now, or should be different than what it used to be. Because one of my concepts, which I have tried to explain in several sessions, is about knowledge building and knowledge execution. So what has changed in the last 20, 30 years? Knowledge has become a commodity. So any information at any platform which is being given in the name of, whether it's college, university, or a school, or training institutes, or any other media, that knowledge is available somewhere. You only need to find time and some resources to get into it, and you will find it. So if I share something, or through videos or through my talk, it's not really something very rare that you cannot find it anywhere else. The main benefit is that, yes, I try to filter it, try to make it more relevant, and in one dose, I try to give you the best value. But it's not something very rare. It's available somewhere. So what is the purpose of this training or interaction is that we want to not only gain that knowledge, so knowledge building or knowledge buildup is still very, very important, but then it has to go 1 or 2 levels above that. In most of the training or educational programs where the knowledge is imparted, it comes and it creates a level of awareness, right? So you become aware of something new. And in most cases, that is where it stops. Whereas that is not the main idea, to just create awareness. You need to build up that knowledge, process it, and then take to the next level of development or refinement of that knowledge. And that is called the critical thinking or strategic thinking. So in the discussion of the skills which are required for future jobs, these skills are very, very relevant and really matter. The problems, complex problem solving, critical thinking, strategic thinking, collaboration, all the soft skills, right? In this program, my focus is not only to give you knowledge, but really create opportunities where you could process it. Because again, if we just resort to the knowledge buildup, that would be much simpler for this program. And this program is not meant and designed for this, right? We need to sharpen that skill. And the best way, or probably the only way for us to really sharpen that skill, is when we interact with other people. Or how do we interact? It's very simple. We communicate. And how do we communicate? We just conversate. When two minds or two brains are working together, it's not 1 + 1 2. It could be 1 + 1 anything, 11 or whatever you call it. Because that's the beauty of the human mind, that it really flourishes and develops with other human interaction. It's a very complex science, like emotions are involved, and intelligence is involved, and the facial expression, energy is involved. But one thing is very clear, that it definitely creates a lot more value when two people interact. And if there are more people, ideally 4, 5, 6, the size of our peer group, then the best value is created. So that's your opportunity, that when you look at a knowledge, piece of knowledge, even you look at the first time, there's just very basic primary level that you create some awareness. And with the level of maturity where you are currently, so all of you are a matured adult with higher education and a lot of experiences, with that level of maturity and intelligence, you should be able to bring it up 1 level or 2 level above that. And then it would become a strategic thinking. Now, why it is important? Because if you relate with the corporate world, and this is also another interesting area that we are learning, that what is the best way to make progress in corporate environment. So one thing is very clear, that it's not about education only, or degrees or certifications or anything like that. Even nowadays, experience doesn't count. What really counts is your ability to bring up with the ideas, bring up with the solutions, right? And not everybody could do that, but those people who are able to do it, they make progress. And incidentally, many of us are not good at conversation skills. Now, we do communicate, of course. It's a natural ability of every human being who is born in 4 or 5 years, 3 years actually, they started to speak. But the real thing which matters in a formal environment like work environment, corporate environment, a little bit sophistication pays off very well. So that is the one thing which is very simple, very easy. We need to focus that how do we practice it all the time? If you are in a life journey, you are making progress, you are developing yourself, I think it is very important that you express yourself. Express yourself not only to know people, but also give them opportunity to know you, right? It goes back to the leadership framework, which is the basis or foundation of this program. And that leadership framework starts with the personal leadership journey, creating self-awareness or setting up our inner game, right? So it starts with you. Why it is important? Because it is said that all the life success and failures we see, when we see externally, 80% of them is related to our mindset. 80% of the life successes and failures are driven by our mindset. Now you could question that whether it's 80% or 70% or 60%, but there is no doubt or there is no disagreement that the major part of the life success and failures are related to our own mindset, right? So that is where we start our leadership journey, starting clarifying our values, clarifying our priorities in life. Because when you are dealing with the world, when you are interacting with the world, you are all the time running your life from your mindset. So it has to be cleaned first. It has to be clarified. Once you clarify those things, it becomes very clear, at least for you, that how do you want to interact to the life experiences, right? And then when you are preparing yourself to deal with the world, two things come which are actually two marketing tools or two important tools comes in picture. One is the personal brand, and the other is the relationship and networking topic of today's session. So there is not generally good understanding about the personal brand. People think this is about bragging. I'm not that type. I don't care what people think of me. I'm just focused on my work. I don't care what other people think of me, or I don't do any personal selling or marketing. It's a misunderstanding, because personal branding is nothing but letting the world know who you are. And if you don't tell the world who you are, the world is not able to make benefit out of you, get your help. So, and again, we are living in this world together in a social setup. So it is very important that we know other people and other people know us. And personal branding is a tool, very effective tool, to let the world know who you are, what you could bring to the table, what you could do for them, right? Nothing wrong in it. In fact, you are doing favor to the world by letting them know who you are. And then one step further from the personal branding, as a human being, you want to develop some relationship. You want to know them a little better. You want to like them. As a human being, you want to like other human beings. When we are trying to deal with the world, and if we have worked on our inner game, like our mindset, we have learned something about the personal branding, we have practiced some relationship and networking principles, then we are in a very good situation, very good form to start our communication with the world. So communication, which is the only way to deal with the world, becomes a lot more effective when you have worked through the inner game, the personal branding, and the relationship and networking. And that is what our purpose in this program is. And with this communication, it's a very simple framework. I'm sure that you can recall that sheet. With the communication, you only have one objective: to create influence. And if you could create influence around people around you, that is success for you, because all other things you are looking in life, whether it's material, immaterial, tangible, intangible, they would all come as byproduct if you are able to create influence.